John Mike. It's your boy John Mike.
What up with you guys? You know who it is. It's your boy John Mike, and today we're going to be doing a head-to-head comparison of the Scarbee classic EP-88s and the Vtines MK1 electric keyboard by Acoustic Samples. This is a tough comparison. I'm going to have to be real honest. These are two of my favorite libraries. I think they both sound amazing. And the thing is, they both live in pretty much the same price range. So if you're trying to decide between these two, it's going to be a hard decision. I'll have to be quite honest, but what I'm going to try to do is give you an honest and fair comparison between these two. I can't say what I like and what I don't like about both of them, because honestly, I really like both of them, and I think they both have their merits. But I'm gonna hopefully help you make a decision based on your ears. Let your ears be the judge. Let your and the features and the different things that you that they offer kind of make the decision based on whatever. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to just play them. I have stripped off all of the effects, turned off all of the effects on both of these. All of these effects and things are turned off. I've calibrated the key to make the velocity layers the same. So I'm just going to play both of them. The first one I'm going to play is going to be Scarbee. We're going to play Scarbee first, and then we're going to play Vtines. And so I'm going to mute my mic so you don't hear all the clicky clacky, and you can just hear the difference in how they sound. Let's go. All right, so that's pretty much the sound of both of them. Now, as you can hear, there's a little bit character difference in between them. You hear a little bit more mechanical noise and all of that on the Vtines. That's just with me just kind of putting it, because they have this electric and acoustic kind of thing. I just put it straight in the middle of the blend between, because I assume that's kind of what you get here. You may have heard more of the ambiance of that with that as opposed to those type things or whatever. Now that's the sound of them, the dry unaffected sound of both. And I know there's some people that can probably argue about the type of model they sampled and yada yada blah 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 whatever. I don't know. I know that these are two from an average consumer perspective. These are both Rhodes library. Both of these are EPs. They're both electric pianos, and they're looking for a good electric piano sound. And so they're looking at these two. You know what I mean? And they're not looking into the details of whether this is a 1974 Rhodes and this is this kind of Rhodes and this was made in this era. Bump all of that. These are both EPs. Let's just establish that, and that's how the general public sees these. So with that being the case, let's talk about what makes these different, and then we're gonna bookend this on the end, and I'll play some of the different presets of these so you can really see what the potential of these are as we go through some of the presets that they have built in on both. Now, to start it off, these run on two total different sample platforms. EP-88s Scarbee runs in the Contact player. This is a free player. Doesn't cost you anything for the player. You can download it from Native Instruments website. Then you can buy Scarbee and you can load it inside of Contact and play it just like you would anything else. Vtines, however, runs on UVI, on the UVI workstation, which is also free. You don't have to pay anything for that. It's a sample library player, just that's not all too dissimilar from Contact. So you can utilize that as well to be able to play this, buy download UVI, keep moving, or what have you. Now, interface wise, Scarbee gives you a little bit more on the interface front part, just a tad bit, looks like more than Vtines does on its initial screen, but you can access these different windows inside of Vtines right here, whereas they kind of put, like, if you wanted to access the keyboard amp on Scarbee, you would just hit this, and then you got a keyboard amp. Let me make sure I'm on Scarbee, without it. Sounds a little bit duller. And you can adjust your bass if I want some more in there. I can make it warmer, whatever. They got passive tone control and all of that kind of stuff like that. Whereas with Scarbee, I can hit this to pull up a window. Not with Scarbee, with Vtines, and I can turn the amp on here, and I have a little bit more controls on this, than I do with this. So I have to control over my mic position, and I get different tones based on, which I think that's really, really dope for different types. I think that's really, really dope. Really, really dope. I think that's really, really dope on there. And then that's a plus on the keyboard amp part of it. Now I think you can do the same thing inside of no, you can't really do, not that I can really see that you can do that inside of the Scarbee. They don't really have a lot of mic positions or anything like that, but you can choose the difference over here on the amp. You have a little bit more tweakability with the amp. I love that word, tweakability with the amp. And then you have your kind of EQ right here on the front. They have the EQ right there with the amp, or you got passive tone control to give you more bass, yada yada yada. Your vibrato is right there. You got vibrato right here. So let's kind of compare the vibrato with each other. So starting with Scarbee, their vibrato sounds a little something like this, and I'll just play through it. Let's increase the intensity. Now Scarbee, one of the difference between Scarbee and Vtines, and this may be a UVI thing versus a Contact thing, I really don't know, but you can actually control the vibrato using the mod wheel on Vtines. Which I think is a plus, because especially if you're using this in a even in recording, but more so in a live standpoint, you know what I'm saying? You want to have control over that vibrato. If you're playing, sometimes you may want to bring it in, and then there may be a part where you just want it dry, need it dry, whatever the case may be. So it's a plus having it connected to your mod wheel as opposed to it being connected to on-screen thing. Now, one thing in Contact, you can right-click, learn MIDI CC. I'm pretty sure I could maybe map it to my mod wheel that way, probably just by doing that. I probably could do that. Let's see if we can, let's try it real quick. Yeah, so I can map that to the mod wheel as well. So don't think of that as a plus, but right out the gate, without you having to do anything, control any mapping or anything. You can do that by default inside of Vtines. So to me, that's a plus for Vtines. Just the fact that you can do it out the gate as a user. I don't have to go in and mess with anything. I can it's just right there. It's ready for me. It's instinctive. It literally, I figured this out without having to like see it or read any manuals or anything. I was just playing, and intuitively I pushed up the mod wheel, and the vibrato came on. That's not the case with Contact. You got to map it yourself with Scarbee. You got to map it yourself. So that's just one thing to kind of consider. Just a little small thing or what have you. Now, as far as the effects go, they pretty much have the same kind of effects available to them, albeit that Vtines is going to be a little bit more visual. It just gives you a little bit more visual, but you got the same things over here. You got wah, you got a compressor. I don't think they have a compressor built in here, so there's a plus. You got overdrive, yeah, which is some where it's somewhere I've seen it. Yeah, tube saturation, yeah, that's like drive. Chorus, you got chorus. You got a phaser, flanger, rotary, rotator, right there. You got a cabinet, which is, I'm not sure really what that is. Let's click on it. Leslie, that's a Leslie, and then you got a rotator as well. It's kind of like the same type deal, but you got tape. Tape, I love tape. Tape gives some warmth and some character to your sound when you got that. But they don't have tape in here built in. You do have a delay. You got a delay there, and you got reverb. So those are the effects that you got. You got a couple of more effects inside of Scarbee than you have inside of here, what have you. Now, you also have velocity curve editor. They have that in here where you can edit your velocity curve for your keyboards, and they can be recorded and they can be adjusted via keyboard. But you have presets. They have presets and stuff in here built in. If I go to calibrate, they have presets that built in, like of just different types of keyboards, which is pretty cool. Now they don't have that in here for different types of keyboards, but they have different types of standard curves built in that you can use, and then you can record your own velocity curve in each one of them as well. So I think that's pretty dope to kind of consider. And then you have your little preferences, which I'll get to this in a second in Vtines. Over here, you have, instrument noise and pedal down and different things like that, pedal up and bass, key, and yada, yada, yada. Over here in UVI, you have like, if I go over here to UVI, you have adjustments that can be made per note, which I think is really, really cool. You can actually adjust like your pickup distance and height and tone. If you just really want to get really nerdy with it, you can get in and you can change the timbre and dynamics and all of those different things of each individual note on the things. If you really want to get nerdy and create your own kind of like custom sound, you can do that inside of Vtines, and then you can choose for it to do note by note or all notes. You can make global adjustments, or you can make note by note adjustments. So that's a big plus in my opinion for Vtines, because it gives you a little bit more tweak ability. That's my favorite word. I'm going to get a t-shirt made that just says tweakability. I think would you guys buy that if I did a t-shirt that said tweakability? But tweakability is on 10 here inside of Vtines. sound wise, they both sound very good, and both can be adjusted to sound the way that you want. Now there's a few, there's the stereo spread, you got stretch tuning, you got 88 key monitor, you got a high-end cable, you got a ton of other little things inside of Scarbee that just, it's just that classic tone. Scarbee, in my opinion, is just, they've been in the game for so long. And in fact, probably the first digital virtual electric piano that I bought, VST that I bought, was Scarbee back in the, not this particular version, but the Scarbee that Native Instruments brought to the game, you know, way back when, probably about a decade ago now. But yeah, I've been using Scarbee on a lot of my recordings and live situations for, yeah, pretty much the last 10 years. Vtines is the new kid on the block, but I think it is a very strong contender because it takes what a lot of the libraries are lacking and it puts it right in front of your face. Now, on to the last part of this video. I'm just going to play through some of the presets. I'm going to start with Vtines. I'm just going to play through like the first 5 presets on each one of these. We're gonna start with Vtines, go through five different presets. I'm not gonna even try to like go all of the different ones. I'm just gonna hit the first 5 here. I'm gonna hit the first 5 there, play through them, let you guys kind of enjoy a little bit of how it sounds, and then you can make your decision there. Now, if you do decide to buy Vtines, there is an affiliate link. I'm not up pushing Vtines over Scarbee at all because I love Scarbee, but I do have an affiliate relationship with Acoustic Samples. So if you're interested in buying Vtines, if this kind of nailed the coffin, you know, the last nail in the coffin for you for Vtines, if you make that decision after listening to the demos of this versus that, then support this channel by using the affiliate link below for Vtines. I wish I had an affiliate relationship with Scarbee. I don't, but if I did, I would definitely recommend that as well. But I recommend it even without any affiliation with the company. I recommend Scarbee as my all-time favorite EP electric piano library, just period. So you guys can take a listen to that. If you decide to get Vtines, hit that link. It gives me a little bit of kickback. I can take that, invest it into stuff, software and different things and hardware that I buy to do reviews on for this channel. We appreciate you guys listening. I'm not going to say anything else after I do the demos. We're just going to close the video out. It'll fade out. So I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, the share button, drop a comment, do all those things like that. I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Let's enjoy the demos.